What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Members get exclusive content. This story takes us to the Los Angeles County Jail, where I've said before, it's very violent, very vicious. I'm going to do a series on the Los Angeles County Jail. It is worth doing a series on. Well, this situation happened in 2015. It transpired with a dude known as YC from Gangster. That's his name. He's a snitch now. He's on a PC yard. So yes, I'm exposing his name. And for those who are going to say, oh, so you're going to expose his name, but not Big Bubba's name? Yes. Don't ask me why. I'm not defending Big Bubba. Don't ask me why I'm not going to expose his name. Write your uncle, your big homies that's been to prison, and ask them why the culture tolerates depraved occurrences. It's not Damien, it's the culture. Once you go PC, I don't care, all bets are off. YC was in the county jail. He had some frivolous case. He was fighting it. He was coming out with a gangster card working as a trustee. That's where you come out, all the drugs that come in the county jail, you're the first one there to the people's cell. You're getting all the drugs, you're making the money. Everybody wants to come out and do this sort of work in the county jail to get out of your cells. You're in there all day. They have the bars in the county jail, the actual bars. You want to come out of your cell. YC is coming out. The gangster card got a little juice. They coming out. He's saying, let's call him the big fella. This guy that this transpired against with YC, let's call him the big fella. The big fella's a real dude. He real strong. He has a lot of juice in the county jail as well. In fact, but at this time he didn't have a lot of juice. He ended up getting a lot of juice, ended up running the county jail, running all the modules, running the floors, but he still has some sort of juice at this juncture. YC, he done had a couple of fights in the county jail, but nothing major. It's some dudes in the county jail that got big names that's down there putting in a lot of work. He done had a couple of fights against a couple of his enemigos, but nothing big. YC is out working with the gangster car. They got a little juice. They running a few things. He's saying that the big fella and the big fella's homeboys, his crew, they can't come out and work. He like, no, man, we out here. The gangsters out here. They got to stay in. Everybody can't come out and get the money and this and that. So the big fella already has a problem with him. The big fella telling YC, man, you don't run anything like that. You can't tell the big fella and his homeboys what they can do. You got the game messed up. But right in the midst of this back and forth, the big fella moved to the 2,000 floor. This was on the 4,000 floor, like in 4,700, where this transpired with YC, where he's saying the big fella and his boys cannot come out. Okay, well, the big fella transfers to the 2,000 floor. He's been there before. He used to run the 2,000 floor. YC got out. He beat the case, whatever. He got out. About a month later, 2 months later, he came back to jail, to the Los Angeles County Jail. He was in and out of there. Catch a frivolous case, B, to get probation or something, go home. The big fella was down here for years fighting his case. YC was in and out 5, 6 times during his 4 years that the big fella was down there. So he comes back another time. He comes to the 2,000 floor and goes in the big fella's cell. Now, in the county jail, they used to give you phone cards. You can buy phone cards off the canteen. $20 phone cards or a $10 phone card with your money and call your family. You punch the pin in from the phone card and then the phone number and call your moms, call your baby mama. Praying she's not cheating. She probably is. See this nose hair. Excuse me, this nose hair keeps sticking out. She probably is cheating, just like my ex couldn't keep her legs closed to save her life. And so they changed it to where you just pay for the money, the phone time with your money on Canteen, and they give you a PIN code. So the PIN, you punch in your booking number, and then you punch in a PIN code, and then you dial a phone number. And dudes in the county jail, they would watch you putting in this PIN code so that they can get it and then use your phone time. They call their family, they call their people with your money on your phone time. They're down there stealing. Again, this is a no-no. This is the county jail. It's not as structured as prison, but the big fella, he embodied these rules. He lived by them, regardless of where he's at. He takes the program with him. And YC came in a cell, and the big fella was sitting there calling his ex, his now ex, one time, and he called multiple times, like maybe 5 times. She always answers the phone. Come to find out she was in the meeting, and that's why she wasn't answering the phone. So he kept dialing the number, which gave YC multiple times to see the number that was being dialed. And apparently he remembered the number, like they do. Because when the big fella went to court the next day, after he got his phone time from the Canteen, the big fella used about $2 worth of phone time that night. He had court the next day, so he went to sleep. So he wasn't even on the phone. He had got $40 worth of phone time, so he should have still had about $38 left of phone time. He got to court. He always calls his family ahead of time. Court starts at about 9. You get to the court tanks at about 7 in a CCB court, or pretty much any court. And so they turn on the phones in the holding tank. Big fella normally calls his beautiful mother, bless her and rest her soul. His brother's always in court, his sister, his stepfather, and his mother. And he'd normally call. His ex was never there. His ex was never there. And he would call and check on them, make sure they're up, make sure they're on their way to court. Most of the time, they'd already be sitting in court at 7 o'clock waiting. And when he got in the holding tank and dialed the number to call his family to make sure they're there in court, the phone operator said that he had $2 and some change, or $3 worth of phone time. The big fella said, hold on, I had $38 last night. What happened to my phone time? So the big fella starts thinking, man, what happened? What are they talking about? And then he says, oh, I know it wasn't the homie Sibo from Trouble. It was a non-affiliate dude in the cell. He knew it wasn't him. That only left one character, Thieving YC, who just came back. Now, when YC came back, he was calling around trying to bail out. When he came back in the cell with the big fella, when he came back to the county jail and came in the cell with the big fella to the 2000 floor, after all that stuff that happened on the 4000 floor, he was trying to bail out. He was calling different women. Some of them wouldn't answer the phone, so he had ran out of phone time, and he's desperately trying to bail out. He's saying, man, get the $200 from my mother. No, go get the $50 from her, because his bail was not that high. It was another frivolous case. Again, he was catching these cases, getting right out, catching these cases, bailing out. And so he was desperate to get on the phone because he's trying to bail out, and he had ran out of phone time. So the big fella, he's saying that's who took the phone time for sure. It had never come up missing before. Everybody had been in the cell with him. So the big fella's in the court tank, and he's steaming. He's upset. And he lives by these rules, even though this is the Los Angeles County Jail. And these dudes think this is a game. So the big fella went to court. Already wasn't happy about the case he was fighting. And I'm sure it didn't get good news in court that day, only exacerbating the situation. The big fella is contemplating on a bus ride back to the county jail how to handle this, because YC is an ally of the big fellas. Their gangs are allies. They ride together. The big fella says he doesn't care, ally or not. The rules are there for a reason. And then it's personal because he took this from the big fella, trying this man. The big fella came back to the county jail. He told the police, change his PIN number. Change my PIN number right now. And what made matters worse is that when a big fella got back to the county jail and went to his cell, he got back on the phone, and this time it was like $1 left. It was $3 left. He got back on the phone and took $2 more. He couldn't even leave the big fella with the $3. He couldn't even see him with $3 out of the 38. He took some more and left the big fella $1. And he's sitting there on the bed playing like he sleep, knowing what he done did when the big fella done come back from court. So the big fella played it off, didn't say anything out loud, as if his phone time had never come up missing. YC must be sitting there thinking, oh, the big fella's he's a buster, he's a coward. I thought he was about that life. He know his phone time is gone. He ain't even said nothing to nobody. Like, who took my phone time, man? Well, he ain't said nothing. Oh, okay. He ain't nothing. Well, the big fella went and got a big old bazooka from one of his comrades. And once you get it, you have to use it. That's the rule. Big fella went back to his cell, and they called a wayside line. Wayside. Now, YC, this is a whole nother story, but YC, his baby mama was from Harlem Crip. She came up unalived right there in the Harlem hood. Somebody pulled up and gunned her down. And shot one of the Harlems too. That was with her. She was dating a dude from Harlem now. The word was, it was supposed to have been the boy. YC. They say, the boy from Harlem say, I saw him. He saw him do it. They arrested somebody else for it. Okay? Now, but the Harlems they looking for him. So he go to a dorm in Wayside, the Harlem dorm. The Harlems call in, man, is this the boy supposed to shot the homies or not? They said, yeah. So he had a couple fights in there. The Harlems didn't pack him out. They gave him a couple squabbles. They told him tomorrow you finna get some more. The next day, the police come in, tell everybody get down on the bunks and come grab YC and take him out the dorm. Everybody believes he called his family and told him, had the police come get me. He PC'd up, he rolled it up. But he's still walking around the main line in the county jail, popping it like he one of them boys. But really, it's the big fella that's one of them boys. And so YC, he's starting to have dirt and smut on him that he done rolled it up. Now he's accused of stealing. So he don't want to go back to Wayside because the Harlems are looking for him because now he done rolled it up out the dorm. So they call it Wayside line. He's trying to get out of it. The big fella senses an opportunity, and he attacks him with a big old bazooka. Boom, boom, boom. Hit him a couple times. He wasn't trying to unalive the kid, but he wanted to send a message. Don't steal, and don't steal from the big fella. Don't steal from your own homeboys, your allies. So he hit him. YC, he began to leak just a little bit. He had a couple puncture wounds, nothing serious. Compared to the size of the bazooka, it could have been a lot worse for him if the big fella really wanted to inflict pain. When they opened the gate for Wayside, YC goes out and he goes down to medical and says that he fell off the bunk. I can't go to Wayside, look, I'm bleeding. They said these are not wounds from falling off a bunk. These look like stab wounds. He said, no. They said, okay, we'll scratch you from Wayside, but you got to go back to the cell, to the same cell. These not stab wounds. Go back to the same cell that you just came from. He's so worried about Wayside that he would rather go back to the same cell where he just got attacked with a weapon. So he comes back to the cell And before they opened the cell, he had apparently told them, let me talk to the dude first. And so he went and talked to the big fella. He said, man, we still bros, we still homies. I need to come back in the cell because I ain't going to Wayside. And they trying to force me to go to Wayside. I didn't tell him what happened. I just told him I fell off the bunk. The big fella said, no, he don't feel comfortable with you coming back in the cell after what just happened. That wouldn't be smart. And if you come back in here, anything can happen. You'll be taking a chance. And YC decided that he would take his chances instead of going to Wayside. So he told the police, pop the door. I'm going back in. And they popped it. And YC went back in the cell. Part 2. To a gangster, well, he gets hit. It's coming soon, people. Stay free.